A very good morning to you, Michelle, from a very sunny Cape Town, as you've seen. But of course, the matter at hand, Michelle, is one that is going to really determine whether or not this decision by the Democratic Alliance will be taken in as far as selecting a candidate for that mayoral position. Remember, the names that you mentioned are top three political figures in the Democratic Alliance, well known in the Western Cape as well as the city of Cape Town. You mentioned the current mayor, Plato. He's vying for that top position once again. He wrote a letter. He submitted the letter before the DA City Caucus, also outlining why he should continue in that position as the boss of the city of Cape Town. And also the MEC for Transport, who also happens to be the provincial leader, the Democratic Alliance's Western Cape leader, Bonginkosi Madikizela, also raising his hand to be the next mayor of Cape Town. In that interview that I had with him, that exclusive interview, Michelle, you might have heard him sort of bashing the current administration and the top, of course, the current mayor, Plato. They're saying that the administration under his helm is facing a lot of challenges. And also you have the DA's finance spokesperson, who is the shadow minister for finance, who also is the parliamentary member for the Democratic Alliance, Geordin Hill-Lewis, also raising his hand to be the next mayor of Cape Town. So they were all due to make presentations today before an internal selection panel. That selection panel, Michelle, would have had members from FedEx, it would have had members from the provincial executive as well as the regional Cape Metro executive. But that Cape Metro region now coming out to dispute this selection panel. So what the party did, they actually put forward an independent ombudsman who was set to look at this process that was set to unfold. He's actually a member of he's a deputy chair of the Federal Legal Commission. He's also a member of FedEx. His name is Wena Horn. He was selected as an independent ombudsman to oversee this process. And so what the ombudsman has ruled out, essentially in a nutshell, is that the panel that has been selected to oversee this process does not conform to the candidate nomination regulations in material respect. So what the provincial executive did, as well as the Cape Metro executive has done, they selected members to be part of the selection panel, as well as members from FedEx. But the ruling by the ombudsman now puts the party in a predicament where there's a dispute. The Cape Metro is saying that they don't welcome this ruling that comes out of the independent ombudsman, and they want it to be adjudicated and looked at before they can even go forward. And so subsequently to all of this, Michelle, the party has decided to postpone the presentations which were due to take place today. They have not given out a date as to when those presentations are due to take place and will take place once again. When they do take place, Michelle, I can guarantee you that all the top three political figures who have raised their hands, they will present their case before the selection panel, and that selection panel will then select the candidate who will then move forward to campaigning for the mayoral position ahead of this year's local government elections.
Yeah, Athi, let's not forget that the DA itself has been in somewhat of turmoil since the former leader, Mmusi Maimane, since he, shall we say, exited as leader. The local government elections are coming up. This is an important decision, particularly for that region. Many people, at least on social media, at least speaking off the record, saying that Geordin Hill-Lewis is the person that's leading what actually is a two-horse race. What are you hearing there?
Well, for now, Michelle, they really have to wait for this adjudication process to conclude and to really find out whether the names that have been put forward from the provincial executive as well as the Cape Metro, whether those names will be names that would be viable and that would be names that all members of the DA who are part of the selection process will welcome to be part of the selection panel. And there's no doubt, Michelle, that there are internal disputes and there are internal squabbles within the Democratic Alliance here in the Western Cape and certainly in the provincial region as well as the Cape Metro region, which is why we find ourselves, or rather the party finds itself in a position now that it can't even go ahead with the selection process to pick one person to stand for that mayoral position in the city of Cape Town. And already the public sentiment out there is that Geordin Hill-Lewis would be the man who would be taking up this position simply because of his pigmentation. And when I had an interview with him, he tried to debunk the narrative that the party just wants a white face to lead. He says people should look beyond the color of the person who would be chosen for the Cape Town mayoral position, and they should rather look at the work and the experience of that candidate. Coming out also is, of course, the Democratic Alliance's provincial leader, Bonginkosi Madikizela. A lot of members of the public saying he is wasting his time, that he shouldn't even be raising his hand, but he believes that he's the man for the job. He believes that the current administration is really putting the Cape Town municipality, which is the flagship of the city of Cape Town, as well as the Democratic Alliance. It says that there are a lot of challenges under Plato's helm, and so a lot of public sentiments and a lot of public opinions have been coming out already on who will be chosen for this position, but all of that remains to be seen. We have to wait for this internal dispute to be sorted out before we can even go ahead to say who would be chosen for this position.
Yeah, absolutely. Athi Mtongana, thank you very much for that. Geordin Hill-Lewis, that's the name. Apologies for that. And that's as we track the Democratic Alliance's Cape Metro region and the party's mayoral processes there.